to BV2, episode 3. Tonight we've got a very special guest, try-scoring sensation, Lyn Kipper Thomas. Also, tonight's show is sponsored by the Pen y Bont Sports Bar. I got two guests with me. I've got Daniel Davis. Daniel, I've noticed you've had a bit of interest in being a vegan this week.
This week, it's been all year. I've been caning the vegan stuff.
How's that been going for you?
Good, very good. I'm not proper vegan. I'm only doing. I loved eggs too much and stuff like that. So yeah, it's good. Good, nice change of the diet. It's good.
And Rowan, how's you? Have you been having cookies this week? I've seen a delivery of brownies to the house.
Yes, from can't remember what the company's called now.
Cookie,
that's it. Yeah, they're lovely.
CWCI. They're sponsoring us next week.
That's the one. Lovely they were. Brownies I had.
It wasn't Evans. Are they nice? Yeah.
Brownies are lovely, really nice.
Oh, great. Right, on to our guest, Mr. Lyn Kipper Thomas. How are you, Lyn?
All right, good guys.
First question is what everyone wants to know. Why do they call you Kipper?
My father was a keeper on the river, so I was in Scouts and they started calling me Young Keeper, and then eventually just turned into Kipper.
Oh.
So blame the Scouts.
I think that's most nicknames come from, really. Obviously, a lot of people associate you with Ystrad, but going from the start of your rugby career, you're not actually an Ystrad boy originally, are you?
No, Contorth boy.
I put it
Played for come under-16s, captain of the under-16s, and I came down to Ystrad because the youth thing come had finished. And most of the boys just go to Abercrave, but because I had big mates with Keith Davis, so I went to Ystrad to play them, and obviously stayed in Ystrad then.
I noticed when Blethen Rat passed away recently, they put a photo of the youth team up, and Blethen was captain, and it was a hell of a side there, wasn't it?
Well, most of those boys came from come under-16s, because it was the only local junior team. Nearest team we played was Glenarman. All the other teams were Pontdilla, Llanelli, all that way. So it was the original junior team locally.
Oh, so certainly Ystrad's gain and Cum's loss then. I looked in. Was Steve Bayliss in that side as well?
No, I never played with Steve. No, Steve's older than me. Steve had gone to rugby league by the time I started playing for Ystrad.
Kevin Hopkins. Sorry.
Was it many youth teams around that time in Kev?
There was plenty youth teams, but come youth team had just folded when I was in the under-16s. When I was old enough to come out into youth, the youth thing come finished. So everybody either went to Abercrave or Ystrad. And for some reason, most boys seem to go to, most of the come boys seem to go to Abercrave. So I never understood that.
Kevin Hopkins was in the side though, wasn't he?
Yeah. Kevin, well, a load of Ystrad boys. Starvez, Di Daniels, Sparky, Uris, all loads. But like I say, it was the only junior team locally.
Bloody good side though.
Oh, it was a hell of a side. Used to win loads of stuff.
But obviously, it turned out to be a good thing coming to Ystrad because you had a lot of success in Ystrad, didn't you?
Yeah,
and,
well, it was a better standard of rugby than Com. I know people don't like to say it, but Com were a junior unit team at the time as well. So they only basically played the second teams.
Yeah.
Ystrad seconds would play there.
Yeah, and Ystrad obviously a good West Wales side as well. What was a Section A side really, weren't they?
Yeah, that's the other thing. But like I say, the standard of rugby was much better.
Yeah.
Look, I've never understand how did it work? How do they decide who was where then?
I don't know how it worked, Rob. I just knew the Com was always what they called a junior union team. So they could never be in the West Wales. And then it's only when the leagues came around that they sort of, I don't know, bumped them up and said, right, you're a full-on team or whatever. But I never understood how that works. I don't know.
A lot of clubs did, didn't they? Like Banwen was a junior union club, wasn't it?
Clubs who just
Baglan, there was a lot of them.
Yeah, they were just what's called junior union for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure how it worked either. But obviously in West Wales, it was a very competitive division, Section A, wasn't it?
Oh, it was really tough league. Fair play. Whoever won it deserved it because I don't think it was any easy games all year. So.
Did you ever come close to winning it?
Yeah, and then Tumble cheated us.
Yeah, didn't they cancel a game and play the next day?
Cancel the game to see what we did, and then they knew exactly what they had to do to win it.
Yeah, she's not bitter at all then.
No, never bitter, no.
How did they get away with that then? How were they allowed to do that? Was it
Tumble were one of the main West Wales teams, weren't they? So
yeah, they used to win it regular. Yeah.
Back then it happened.
Obviously, as well, we played a lot of big cup sides, didn't we? I remember you played against Cardiff. Did you play against anybody else?
Ebbw Vale away up there.
Yeah.
I think, what was that, 18-9, was it? 18-9 we last time?
Yeah. We were always very competitive wherever we played.
Oh, yes, but well, like you say, against Cardiff, and let's clear it up, I didn't give any try away. I had actually gone off at half time. I've still got the scar.
Yeah.
And I was down in Glanbyd Hospital getting stitched up when that happened. So it wasn't me who gave a try away.
Yeah, for those who don't know, a kick came across. Somebody didn't gather it, and Adrian Hadley scored the winner, didn't he?
Yeah.
And I still were 9-8 up at the time, weren't they? And there was only a few minutes left.
And it's where I would have been if I'd have been on the field.
Yeah. So what was it like playing against someone like Adrian Hadley?
Well, you just got to block that out, don't you? You just got to treat them as other players, just normal game. You can't think, same as when we played Bridgend, and they had how many internationals in their team. You can't go on the field thinking, oh, I'm playing against you, just go on, I want to smash them, and that's it.
Yeah, because Hadley scored 2 tries against Ulster, I think. And then about 4 months later, then he's scoring 2 tries in Twickenham in the Wales Triple Crown. It's nuts to think now. You can't compare it to rugby now, can you?
No, well, that won't happen again now. You won't. Well, like you say, we won the plate in the Welsh Cup, but the Cup now, you never be up against higher teams as such, and you only play the teams on your level. So,
you think that's a loss for rugby in Wales? Because no,
I think it is. Yes.
It wouldn't be the same if they did it now, mind. I think with
the regional teams, they would they put their like second team out. But back then it was a big thing, and like you say, you see, look at the players through the years that I still have played with alone. They put a full team out to come and play against all internationals and everything. And for the junior club, the smaller clubs, that was your cup final, because you play in against internationals.
But Ulster had a good side themselves, isn't it? Because you were on the wing, played for Llanelli, didn't you? Sparky was playing scrum half, wasn't he? Played for Neath, obviously. Di Love outside half went on to play for Aberavon. Carwyn Hopkins went playing for Ebbw Vale. So it was a strong Ulster team. Oh,
it was a good team, yeah. But that was the thing then. I don't think the jump up between players was as big because of the level we were playing in West Wales then, the level the clubs were playing in East Wales. So those leagues were tough leagues on their own. So the jump up then to what was the merit teams then. And like the lower teams in our merit table weren't that much better than your West Wales teams.
And to be fair, out of the 20 merit table teams there, Sparky probably played for every one of them.
He's got a jersey for everyone, I bet.
It's definitely between him and Bola for the most clubs ever played for, I think.
Oh, I think it'll be Sparky.
Yeah.
Get him on and see if he spend an hour going through all the clubs he played for.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind getting him and Bola on, to be honest. It'd be great. Obviously, then, I was a kid at the time, and I remember watching you play, and you were scoring tries ever. One game that stuck out for me around that time was when we won the playoff in Ebbw Vale to beat Cardiff Fight to go into the Heineken League.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Nope. There's very few games I remember.
Oh, it was a massive game. I stood up because we finished second, the Seven
Sisters.
Sisters.
We had to beat them, didn't we, to
go up.
To go up, yeah. But I don't remember hardly any of the game, no.
Yeah, we won 9-7, we did. I remember. I was only 10 and I remember that, and you were playing.
There's very few games I actually remember playing it.
Great guest, Lyn Kip.
Here again.
You're a great guest, fair play.
Well, it's, people
Hey, to be
have
fair, you
memories
played a lot of
they can
games.
tell me. I've had an accident with a brain injury. There's no need for that now. I can't remember.
Come on now, Daniel.
You can't put that one on me, that's a horrible thing to say.
But obviously, it was fantastic because I remember us going into the Heineken League, and it was a hell of an adventure to go in there. And then going on a year later, then we played Bilthwell, or 2 years later, we played Bilthwells.
In Astra.
And I remember that game being put on Rugby Special Wales, wasn't it? And there must have been close to 2,000 watching the game. It was bonkers.
I do remember scoring a try at the end and laughing at what's the centre, Fred, is it?
Fred Lewis.
He centre. I scored a try and I knew we were up, so I just laughed at it, which was a bit out of order. But
Oh, there was a massive rivalry though, wasn't there, between us and Bilth at the time?
oh yeah. Well, look what they did to us when we were up there. Remember? Do you remember that game where they basically cleaned out our front row?
We had about 3 or 4 front row go off, didn't we?
They all ended up in Australia, didn't they?
Yeah, cracking ribs. But Jeremy Pugh was playing for them at the time, wasn't he? And he was an excellent scrummager. But I think Nigel Francisco had try of the day, didn't he, on the rugby scrum 5, and it was all due to you making the break, really, and popping inside to Nigel to score.
If you say so.
No, 100%. But then I remember 2 years later, Jonah Lumu doing something similar and passing to Josh Cromfeld. So obviously Lumu had been watching Rugby Special Wales somewhere.
Watching the rugby, seeing it, picking tips.
I want to be like Kipper. But Nigel Francisco is a brilliant player in his own regard, to be fair. Right?
They were all, to me, the players who left. I made a comment the other day on Conclinwell profile when they were saying about their team. Like I said, basically, most of it was Astrad players.
Yeah.
And they only went because the players who came into Astrad, who they brought in, if a player was on equal footing, they would say, oh, we'll put the foreigner in because we don't want to upset them. Oh, he's Astra boy, you'll stay here. And it ended up, the boys went, well, no, we're not staying here. Second team rugby, so they all went. And that's why Conclinwell, you got to Conclinwell level, look like captains board and player of the year board. Most of them are ex-Astra players.
Well, as we mentioned earlier, there was like Ratty, you went up there, didn't you?
Ratty,
Andy, Dyson. Yeah, Wayne. Yeah. I remember when I came out of youth, there was a mass exodus out of Astrad and we were left, there was all 19, 20-year-olds. But Dyson, Ratty and Andy came back to look after us, basically.
Because after they stopped paying and all that, and all the superstars went away then, didn't they?
Yeah, a little bit. And to be fair, playing with those boys was a massive eye-opener for us. And I think the boys like Boris and Chris Toms and boys definitely gained off it. They weren't very big boys, but they were tough. And we were young, weren't we?
Dyson's known for it, isn't he?
Yeah.
Somebody like Dyson give 100% every game.
Dyson in Penlan, they never met anyone who could take such a kick in. I mean, they keep going as if they were going to put a statue of him up in Penlan.
So I never played.
I never played. I don't think I've ever played with a braver bloke than Blethen Holsgrove.
He was nuts.
And I spoke to Daniel about it, because in the scrum, you'd hang himself and put his feet in the second row's feet to pull the ball back. The scrum had gone down, he was our men, but he would do it regularly for the team, and the character. But I remember you. I was going to bring that up now in Pyle.
I got sent up. I was in the shower and I could hear Studs coming down the corner, and he comes in. I said, right, are you injured here? No, he said, I got sent off as well. And I said, why did you get sent off? Well, somebody had to sort the second row. I said, I brought the second row off with me. Oh yeah, he got sent off. Kevin Williams didn't talk to him all that season.
I remember that. I was Pyle away, wasn't it? Pyle away in the cup.
Yeah.
Yeah. But obviously, it wasn't just Astrad you played for. You went on to play for Llanelli for a bit, didn't you?
No, played 5 games. And the club wouldn't release me for the 6th game because we had a cup game in which I only found out at the end of the season. Because if you played 6 games, you automatically transferred back then.
All right.
But I played 5, and they came in and asked if I could play against somebody. I can't remember who it was. And the club turned it down because they had an important cup game the week after, so I wouldn't have been able to play for Leicester then. I'd have been a Llanelli player, so...
It's a shame. That should have been your decision, really, not anybody else's.
It's different back then, and they didn't even ask me. I didn't, like I said, I didn't find out at the end of the season.
Yeah.
It's crazy, isn't it?
It was tough back then. Mind, if you wanted a transfer, you had to go to the club and sit in front of the committee to ask for one, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, you had to, and they had to phone up and ask and everything, and it wasn't just, yeah, okay, no problem. It was, but saying that, in a way, it was a bit of, you had to look after the players as well, because they could, I remember that we had one game turned up for Llanelli, and I think it was towards, I can't remember what had happened. It was a midnight Tuesday game against Pontypool, and they'd had a cup game, I think, on the Saturday. It was the Welsh Cup, and it was like quarter or semi-finals. Turned up on a Tuesday night in Llanelli in Stradi, walked in the change rooms. It was basically nearly the West Wales team in there. And Phil May, because he was the captain at the time, he said then he wasn't happy because all the boys who played on the Saturday had said they were going to turn up because it was Pontypool, and they didn't turn up. So basically, nearly a West Wales team playing with Llanelli, and Phil May was going nuts about it.
But Pontypool were a very good side back then, weren't they?
Oh, we had a kick in. I think we won the score, but we lost the fight.
Oh, I bet. But you're saying about West Wales, you obviously represented West Wales as well. That must have been a big honour at the time.
Yeah, I was in the squad when we played Spain down in Stradi Park. I was on the bench, but didn't get on the field. Because back then, if you were sub, you'd only go on if somebody's injured. So,
What was Spain like? Yeah?
We beat them. They were very good back then, but they were doing a tour. So I can't remember the score now, but West Wales beat them then. And what's his name was scrum half, Pancho.
Yeah.
Rodri Williams plays for the Dragons. His father, he used to play with Swansea as well, Alan.
Yeah. I seen a photo of him on Ystrad and Ammerford playing in the snow.
That's it.
It was recently on Facebook, wasn't it?
If you notice, when I go for the tries, the one stood up looking at me. I told him he was too slow. I told him he was too slow to get there.
Yeah. You obviously represented Breconshire as well.
He had a Breconshire cap, which back then you'd play 15 games, and sometimes in a season you only play 1 game. If you lose the cup at the start, even if you won the cup, you only played like 3 games in a season.
Oh, so obviously a mainstay there then. But there was...
Breconshire back then, they were a hell of a team with people like Lesdrell, Frank Jackass and Des Parry, all these basically first-class players back then, playing for Breconshire. Jeremy Pugh, another one.
Mark Wyatt, was he playing?
Mark Wyatt, Al Dunn, all these, fair play. It was a hell of a team. Because Carwyn and Ketchland played for us. Kevin Hopkins played with West Glamorgan.
Oh.
With all his mates.
Did they ever play against him?
I can't remember if there was ever a fixture where they played against each other.
Yeah. What was that? Obviously, going back to when you were with Ystrad, you captained Ystrad for a season.
Yeah.
As you keep reminding me after a few pints that your name is on the board.
It was against my better judgment to take it, man, but there we are.
No, but it's a huge honour, though, isn't it?
Oh, it is an honour. Obviously, back then, I don't know if it's still the same now. The players vote for the captain.
Yeah.
I don't know why they picked me. I'm going to clear. Because in the end, I just said, "Oh, look, I think with Les, the vice captain, I say, Brett, don't bother coming out. Just ask the number 8 what he wants to do. Because out on the wing, you're out to it. You can't be running back and forth all the time to talk to them in ref. It's a pain in the ass.
It's a hard place to be captain. Hard place to be captain on the wing, I should imagine.
Well, that was the thing, isn't it? and that's why I couldn't believe everybody picked me.
Yeah. And did you win Player of the Year?
Yes. I can't remember the year. I found a photo earlier on, actually.
Yeah. But obviously you must...
I won the thing first, though. Most promising player first.
Yeah.
Remember the big trophy, the massive, huge...
Oh, it was huge. It was huge.
I won that first.
Yeah. But you must have won top try scorer several times.
Well, yeah, I set the record once, 35, was it?
Yeah.
And well, then it got smashed. It's up to 40 or 50 now, is it?
Yeah, I think Bodie beat it one year, didn't he?
Yeah.
But in that season, we played South Gow and Bodie scored 7 tries. So it's not...
I got a trophy in the house. Arthur Nath, 41 tries in the season. R. Davis. It was for Richard Davis, but he wasn't there, so I picked it up.
Maybe that one. But obviously you played a lot of sevens as well, Kip.
No, not really.
Didn't you?
No, I played Aston, obviously. Abernant, played with Abernant, and won the Miners Gala sevens a couple of times. Asked Mike Lewis and Sparky. Sparky loves it because they were the odds-on favourites to win up in Cardiff, it was. And they had Di Morgie, Phil Flop, all these, and they were all odds-on to win. And we beat them in the final. So Sparky, when he was up in Cwmlynach Rugby a couple of years ago, Mike Lewis doing a presentation, he called Sparky up and gave him his winning medal because Sparky hasn't stopped moaning about it since. Mike cheated for us to win.
I gotta say, mind, you know, we people do moan about when Ystrad brought players in. Mike Lewis was absolutely class, I felt, when he played for Ystrad. He was a class player.
I think Mike's been class wherever he's been. Like Mike back in the 80s, was it during the strike? He went out to play for Bennett in Italy.
Yeah.
You remember that? He went out there for a season or two, didn't he?
You're a Wales B captain, didn't he?
Yeah.
He played for Llanelli and Aberavon as well.
Didn't he leading point scorer with Aberavon at one time?
Ironically, Di Love beat it.
Is it?
Beat his record. Yeah. But in the same season, Mike beat Di Love's Ystrad record. So the irony of that, really, isn't it?
Do you write all this down, Jake?
Do
you write all this info down? Where'd you store it?
I just take an interest in people, Ro. That's all. But there was a lot of class players who did come through at that time, in fairness. Well, Mark Bennett for one season. I've never seen shoulders like that in my life before.
Well, he'd come back from injury, hadn't he? He'd been out for a while injured, hadn't he?
Yeah.
And I think he thought, well, Leicester had a good standard, so he came there for the season and fair play. And then he went to Cardiff Blues after that and got his cap, didn't he?
Yeah, he played in the work. I can remember him tackling Jonah Lumu. Lumu comes through and he snaps him. That can't have been any easy feat, really. But there was, like boys like Andrew Wells were good players, Mark Harris.
Yeah. Oh, not so much Mark Harris if he's watching this. Don't brag him up.
I remember your skill of the day. You put a kick into the corner. Do you know what I mean?
Aye, as a prop. That sounds Mark Harris up as a prop, kicking it.
No, there was a lot of good players. Like Ystrad, a massive pack. Marbert, McDonald, they were huge, weren't they?
Oh yeah, it's.
Adrian Williams was a good player. You could just run them off, can't we? Just roll them off all the way through.
Yeah, loads of people at the time. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, but you did play. Going back to the sevens, you did play for the public school Wanderers, didn't you? I don't think you were a public school boy, really.
This is the actual story, Sheikh. I didn't actually play for them.
Didn't you?
I won the most promising player in Comtower the week before the Aberdeen sent. And my in-laws at the time were staying in Brown Hills Caravan Park.
Yeah.
And my father got talking to the owner about rugby and whatever, and said, oh, my son-in-law won. He said, oh, was he in Comtower? I said, yeah. So can you phone him and ask him to come over? I'm putting a team into Aberystwyth on Sens on Saturday. Well, I was on strike at the time, so I said, well, if he gives me the money, you have to pay for my petrol. So I was still, yeah, he'll pay for your petrol and he'll put you up in the park and all this. So I went over. I turned up now on a Friday morning, and he goes, all right, we'll all meet in the club tonight about 7 o'clock, and we're going for a meal down near Llangrannog, somewhere it was. So I turned up in the club now. Next thing, I mean, looking, I guess all these players come in and again, hang on, what's going on here? You had people like Di Bishop, Glenn Webb, Ian Paxton from Scotland, Mickey Skinner from England, Stuart Barnes. I'm thinking, hang on, what's going on here? So like, he goes, all right, come and meet the boys. They're like, huh? Come and meet the boys you play here with. So you know, that's all right, yeah, all that. So 2 teams went out. His brother was a multi-millionaire running public school Wanderers. So we went out for a meal, all this. So the day after now, I was playing with Brown Hills, who were the favourites to win it. I got knocked out in the semis, and I hadn't been on the field. Well, public school Wanderers had injuries, so he said, can you play hooker? I said, yeah, I can play hooker. Right, come with us then, you can be our sub. So they played, they won there, I didn't even go on the field.
Oh.
I got a winner's trophy for public school Wanderers. And he gave me 20 quid for it, right, for the day.
Going back to, what was rugby like during the strike? Was there more people training? Because obviously they obviously weren't that active in the day.
You had to train then, didn't you?
Yeah.
Couldn't say you were afternoon shift. I think the fittest I've ever been.
Yeah. What was it like?
Very good to train then.
What was it like being a collier and playing rugby? Because it must have kept you naturally fit.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. And even though at the time you were thinking, oh, I can get training tonight again, but then I like we worked this Saturday morning, especially when I was in a small mine and worked Saturday morning. You're shoveling all morning, and you got to get out and play rugby then. Like it was hard, but loads of people did it then. So it didn't seem anything different. You just got on with it, didn't it?
Do you think, like today, sorry, I was going to say, like today, a lot of boys don't seem to, I don't know, it feels like they don't appreciate playing with your mates and stuff, and that's not turning up on a Saturday, but obviously you said having a hard shift in the morning and still living in the afternoon. Do you think it's...
Well, everybody then, it seems to have changed that everybody then, like I say, even going back to school days, going from school, you get a ball, bat, whatever, you all go up the field, you're all playing, and you're playing rugby, football, whatever. These days, it doesn't seem to get youngsters doing that, whereas you live in, like I say, in a Sparky, we'd play for Cum under 16s on a Saturday morning, and then we go and play for Cum or Astor, whatever, in the afternoon for the youth. So you'd be playing 2 games on a Saturday, but these days, I don't know if you find it in football, but I think the club is going to struggle with the youth now this year out. A lot of youngsters who haven't really been into the rugby are going to say, well, I haven't missed it, so I'm not going to bother going back to it. Yeah. So a lot of youngsters are just going to give it up before they actually start playing it.
Yeah. I remember my grandfather used to tell me that he compared rugby and working underground. The camaraderie was massive, that you were very reliant on each other.
Yeah, well, it's the same thing. You look after each other. You can't do it on your own, so you have to look after each other.
Yeah.
I think that's what brings I suppose football's the same. You're all in that team together. You just, and you're having a laugh as well, isn't it? You know, in the club after. Sometimes you're laughing training, but not often.
Yeah. How old were you when you went underground, Kev?
16. No, yeah, 16. I left school, started Abernant in September, and started underground the following, it could have been 17, maybe the next, it might have been just turned 17 when I went underground.
I should imagine that was a progression for most people back then. They either became academic or they went there, is it?
Yeah, well, leaving school at the time, I could leave school in Easter, so I left school Easter time. I was hobbling on the golf club course with Nichols, and I wasn't receiving any money, but I was having £11 a week on a dole, and the golf club were giving me some money. But when I went to work in Abernant in September, my first wage was £27.50. So it goes to show you, your average, your dole is nearly a wage.
Yeah.
So when you went to work underground, and then there's guys who were educated guys going to get jobs, and they weren't having the money that a miner could earn. The money was, even up until, well, it had started hitting the things a bit before I had my accident. The money wasn't really good, but it was still better than a factory or something.
Yeah.
And I couldn't work in a factory anyway.
Yeah. I'm sure Sam Toms will be chuffed now we've talked about coal. Because that's all he ever talks to me about.
Sam Toms has never worked in a coal mine all the time he's been down there.
That's not what he's telling me.
Sam goes underground and does this. Yeah, the air's still moving. I'm all right then. That's Sam's job.
Yeah. Obviously, you mentioned the accident then. How old were you at that point, Kip?
30.
So a young man then.
Very young.
He was, obviously, and ended the rugby there. How many years do you think you would have played on after that? Was there any thought of what you retire? Because obviously it in 30 and you had a young family anyway. Was there going to be?
No, well, I was still playing in the firsts. I was top try scorer when I had my accident.
Yeah.
I know it was only like 2 weeks into the season, but no, I don't know. That's why I say the Sparky, because like Sparky played Rusted when he was. How old was Sparky? Maybe 40.
I would have said early 40s.
And that's why I said to Sparky, I don't know actually when I would have finished. Like, you see a lot of these boys older, used to it, and you see them like Jeff Spud, for instance.
Yeah.
These boys, they just can't give it up. And I think I'd have been one of them, and I don't know how old I would have been giving it up, sort of thing.
I'd say you were fitter than Jeff Spud, though.
Fitter than Jeff Spud now.
Do you ever fancy getting coaching, Kip?
Say it again, sorry, no?
Did you ever fancy doing a bit of coaching or anything like that?
No. I could never try and tell people what to do. I would never be able to do that.
You were on the committee for a while, okay, weren't you?
Yeah, it was a big committee there then. There's a load of us on it.
Yeah.
And that's the sad thing now, that it's so small, and the age of the committee, before long, they're going to have to finish. But how old's Glenn Rees, Sal Jinks, Colin Jones, these people are, and Spreader's gone now.
But Glyn is 80 this year, in October, I think. Glyn has done nearly 60 years. Well, if you count his play, and he's done over 60 years there. That's incredible. Imagine that much of a, and through the good and the bad and everything. Fantastic bloke, Glyn Rees.
Well, Glyn has basically run that club since I went there. He was the youngest secretary, wasn't he, in the club? Yeah.
And wherever you go in West Wales or anywhere, people know two people, don't they? Glyn Rees and Adrian Locke.
Yeah.
For completely different reasons.
Yeah, I was going to say, not for the same reasons. Is he playing this year, Adrian?
Well, I saw him outside the butcher's last week. He must have been lining up some sausages or something. And he when I got home, he didn't mention anything about rugby, but he texted me, one more season, pal, one more season. So, but Adrian's 40 next year, to be fair to him. Ideally, it'd be nice to see Adrian coming on last 20 minutes or something in a game, innit, rather than starting, but he might have to. There's no props, is there?
I was going to say, all depends. That's another thing now with this layoff. A lot of older players are just going to knock it on the head, aren't they? So you're going to miss those guys.
Yeah. Considering we live in a country of apparent obesity, where's all the props? Where are all the props?
What are you trying to say about props? Are you
Hey, I'm big myself. I can say it. I'm allowed.
There's three of us sitting here.
Not a bad front row, yeah. Hey, we did play in the front row once, me and you, row.
Yeah.
Out in Ireland.
Don't talk about that.
No, won't talk about that. Did your brothers play rugby, Kip?
Yeah. Neil, my brother, played for us. Came down for one season.
What position was he?
Second row. Wayne, my brother, was on the wing. Because on Boxing Days, I used to go back and play for the past up in Com. The two of them would try and catch me and smash me then. But they weren't quick enough.
Where are you? Were you the middle, oldest, youngest?
Youngest. I'm the baby of the family.
Won't say anymore. Obviously, you were still quite a competitive guy because after your rugby, you went to play tennis, didn't you?
Yeah, wheelchair tennis, yeah.
Why did you pick tennis?
It's a bit of a long story. I was in jumping jacks in Swansea on a Saturday night, drunk, and a woman came and sat on my lap and said, "What do you do?" And I just looked at her and said, "I don't do anything, I'm retired." She said, "No, what do you do as a sport?" I said, "I don't do anything." "You lazy," called me a few names. "You need to start doing sport." So I said, "How do I get into sport?" She said, "Have my number." And so she gave me a number. I phoned her the week after. Remember Vicky?
Yeah.
But she was a disabled sports officer with Neath Port Talbot. So then we went up to Cardiff, Bridgend, different places, tried archery, table tennis, weightlifting, all that. Ended up in Cardiff Tennis Club and tried the tennis. I thought, yeah, I could do this. And then obviously the club did a fundraiser, bought a tennis wheelchair. And so I started playing that then, going up to Cardiff twice a week training and travelling England, Ireland, Scotland, playing tennis competitions.
Do you ever fancy rugby, wheelchair rugby?
I was too able-bodied to play.
Is it?
Nuts. Absolutely nuts.
Has to be, how can I explain? You're 5 players in a team, and depending on their injuries, you get assigned a number. Now, I've been, say, because I'm able-bodied, I'm only a paraplegic. Most rugby players are tetraplegics. And when you pick a team, you can only have a total of like 20 points.
Yeah.
So if I'd have been in the team as like a 10, say, all the other guys wouldn't have been able to move. So you've got, and that's why when you watch wheelchair rugby, you see the guys, a lot of them get lifted into their chairs because they can't lift themselves and all that.
It'll be you and find Stephen Hawking.
And that's why I wanted to play, but they said, "No, you're too able-bodied, I'm going to find something else to."
That's crazy, isn't it?
It is. I'm not sure they've changed it now, maybe.
Yeah.
Because the Ospreys got a wheelchair rugby team.
Yeah. But it's more like murder ball than rugby, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
right?
that's what it is, yeah.
But they're flying into each other.
Yeah, well, they don't give a damn, they can't feel it, so...
Obviously, I have seen you playing darts as well, and I'm beat. Is it Jono you beat for a bit of cash on one Tuesday?
Jono in the club. I've actually bought a dartboard, but the problem being now it's on lockdown, so there's no competitions. There is a disabled darts thing, but
that'd be good for you.
The dartboard. The problem is I had to buy my own dartboard because the dartboard, the centre of the ball is lower than a normal dartboard. You're the same distance from the board. But the board, I can't remember, it's about 5 foot, I think, to the centre of the dartboard. So I have actually bought a dartboard to start practicing.
I've always wanted to try and bring darts into school, but there's this massive health and safety thing about it. But then in June, they give the kids a javelin. You know what I mean? And it's like, one's going to help you with your maths. The other one could cause some damage, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? You can't compare them. But it'd be good if you could get into that. Kip, obviously after beating Jono as well, you've got some good credentials, like. Yeah. So why
Is
did
it
you
like-
finish playing? Why did you finish playing tennis, Kip?
Fell over, damaged my shoulder and my wrist, my thumb, playing tennis. I toppled over.
I was going to ask if it was in the penny.
No, I am, touch wood, I am toppled. No, I was playing tennis and I toppled forwards and put my hands out, and I've now got arthritis in my thumb and my shoulder because of it. So
It wasn't trying to jump over the net at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Obviously, all things considered, that must have been massively restrictive for you.
What now? The injury.
Yeah, with
Yeah,
general
it was-
life.
After I did it, I used to go back up to Cardiff and like train for 2 hours, and then my shoulder and wrist would be in agony for 2 days. So I thought, no, I better give it up. But when I had X-ray, he said it's just going to get worse now because it's arthritis is set into it. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I did that thing before Christmas. So they cortisone injections in my thumb. Didn't do anything, so that was a waste of time.
Yeah. Talking about other sports, when you were in school, didn't you hold a powers record or something?
Yeah, the relay up in Brecon, we held that for, I don't know, 20 plus years, 20, 30 years we held it.
With my star when, is it?
Yeah. I can't remember the teams. Phil Alex, Kevin Hughes, Anthony Evans and myself.
I'm flying.
Yeah, so I remember Bob Gould telling me in the club, he said, oh, your record was broken. So what record? The ones you set, and I think it was about 20 odd years after we'd set it.
Fair play. You must have been flying, Kev. Everyone wants to know.
Back then,
Everyone wants to know though. Are you quicker than Noel Mannion?
obviously.
He was quick, mind. He was quick though.
But I was quicker, so what does that say? What's that?
No, it says that I stood at 2 flying wingers at one point, didn't it?
Yeah, and the right winger was the quickest.
All right. I remember Nigel Walker was playing at the time, and Cardiff used to sing a song, and me and Chris Toms, being young Astrid supporters, adapted the song. A song used to go, Nigel Walker walks on water, and then Chris Toms would sing, Kipper runs on it, Kipper runs on it. Chris Toms was a very avid fan of yours at that point. So obviously inspired him on to have his caps. Yeah, Chris will be a good guest. Yeah, Chris on.
Yes, it's another one.
Yeah, definitely. There's so much talent come from the area, isn't it? You mean?
Yeah, Buchanan. Get Buchanan on. You'd have to have 2 hours at least.
3 or 4. Yeah, we could get John Owen on here now as well.
He won't be able to Zoom.
Obviously, over the years, you've made a few celebrity friends, Kip.
Yeah.
Alan Clark being one of you, which is crazy, really. We've been such a Scarlet supporter and him coaching the Ospreys.
He FaceTimed me Saturday night after I praising the Ospreys. No, we didn't discuss the Ospreys. We were actually watching Munster and Leinster.
How's he doing out there, out in America?
All right, he's bored, yes, because he can't go to America. And he had to get rid of their team, didn't he?
Oh, is it?
He set the team up, set the squad up, and then they decided, because of COVID, he couldn't go out. Yeah, he's still stuck in Ireland.
Oh, I didn't realise that.
Yeah, he's still stuck in Ireland. So they said they weren't entering then, so they got rid of the team he'd set up. So I hope you don't mind me telling you, but I was talking to him Saturday night, and he's due to go back out now. Well, not back out, to go out. December, he's open December, January. And in the meantime, now he's going to set up another squad, get another load of players now.
BV2 exclusive.
There we are.
BV2 exclusive. I remember as well, Ricochet was always used to mention you on...
Yeah,
on his...
Rick, when he came to the club.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him in a while now. He's doctor now, isn't he? He's full-time doctor, isn't he?
I seen him in Cardiff around the time when BBC had told us his services were no longer required, and he was gutted about it because I think he generally loved going to all the different rugby clubs.
But Phil Steele basically took his job over then, didn't he?
Yeah,
Phil Steele did what Ricochet used to do, and he goes down to clubs and all that, didn't he?
Yeah, they're both excellent at it, really. Do you know what I mean?
They've got those personalities, get on with everybody and anybody, you know.
Yeah. Who's the most famous person you've met, Ro?
Never met anybody famous, I don't think.
You know me, you know, come on.
I don't know. Yeah,
Adam
Kipper,
Jones.
Kipper.
Adam's your best
Adam
mate. What about you, Dan?
Oh, I don't know. I met quite a few people. I used to work in the S4C before now, so it's quite a few people. And, which I think. Oh, I don't know. Gareth Bale.
That's pretty fair. What about you? Kip, who's the most famous person you've met?
As in, I don't know.
It must be Alan Clark or Sparky.
Sparky.
Rodri Phillips met Hulk Hogan once, didn't he?
That's a hell of a meet, that is. Fair play.
Hell of a meet.
Is there a photo somewhere?
Yeah. KP meeting Hulk Hogan is just monumental, isn't it? You imagine that conversation, like wild times. So, talking about things. Well, I've noticed as well online, Kip, you're a big fan of Black Forest Gato.
Nothing wrong with that, and they should make more of it, not just at Christmas time.
Do you make it, or do you get? Is it Sean?
I'd Sean to make it.
Yeah.
Because you can't, if you notice, go down shop tomorrow and have a look at Black Forest Gato, and you won't find any.
You do a bit of cooking, don't you, Kip? I've noticed you do a little bit of baking.
Yes, I can do cooking, yes.
What's your signature dish?
Beef dinner, the kids like. If you ask the kids, my beef dinner.
Yeah.
I do cakes or picking a man and all that as well.
So you're a master baker.
So what? What's your favourite cake, Ro?
I don't really like
Any cake is in front of it.
No, you will believe it, but I'm not a big fan of cakes and stuff. It's the crisps I like. I could take or leave anything sweet.
Yes. Is it true that you polished off a 24-pack once of crisps?
Well, and another 4, so it didn't look as if I'd eaten the full 28.
What about you, Dan? Favourite cake?
I was saying I prefer crisps, but I do like Victoria sponge or something like that.
Yeah. Obviously, you mentioned it previously. Custard slice is mine. I tell you what I had, and I've never seen anybody else have it. I had it for my birthday. Do you imagine a custard slice now? When they make them, they make one big custard slice, don't they? And then they cut them up into 64 small custard slices. Well, I had the big one for my birthday, 64. And I didn't share one with anybody. So I had 64 custard slices in one weekend.
I couldn't do that. I could not do that.
A complete highlight for me. What's the crack with the pear drops then, Kip?
Do you want one?
It's win weights is most status on Facebook.
That's all he thinks I do. Everything I do now is with pear drops. I just like them for some reason. Only Tesco ones, man. Others have been tried, but they're not as good as Tesco ones.
Do you watch much rugby now, Kip?
Do I watch what? Sorry?
Much rugby.
It gets boring. I've got BT Sport and stuff, but I don't watch much of the Welsh Regions because they pants.
Yeah.
You watch the Aviva Premiership and then turn over and watch the Welsh Regions. It doesn't compare at all.
Yeah.
You watch my football, Kip?
Less said about that, the better. I did all my football when you lot were growing up every blooming weekend.
Best taxi driver ever. Always jump in Kip's car. Nice and warm, big seats in the back. Great stuff.
Every Saturday, home and away.
What was Lee Quick? Was Lee a quick runner?
He's all right, I think. More skillful with his feet than pace, I think.
We were disappointed he chose football over rugby.
Didn't know it was up to him, innit? I do remember once when he started playing rugby in Aston under 8s. Kevlock and Winford, I think, were the coaches, but it fell through. So that season we went up to Abercrave and there was Lee, Craig all playing for Abercrave, and we were on the top field shouting for Abercrave, and one of the boys, Darren Morgan, poor bugger's dead now, he comes down, he goes, I'm going to tell everybody in Astrid Monday that you lot were shouting for Abercrave. Mate, you can't prove it, you say what you like. Lucky there was no phones back then to like see us all shouting for Abercrave. That didn't last long.
Yeah. To be honest, we've said it before, as long as you're doing something with your mates, it doesn't really matter for who and where, really, fundamentally, does it?
As long as the kids are playing, like Joel now, he plays for Abercrave when they get back nowadays. As long as he's playing sport, I don't mind who he plays for.
And if he's enjoying a bit more with his mates, that's
That's the main reason, because he was playing in Aston and all of his mates were in Abercrave, so...
Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, and like I said, I don't mind who he plays, so as long as he's playing.
Yeah. The amount of people who've seen that West Wales jersey, mine, I thought that you were playing for Abercrave is incredible. They are too similar.
They're basically exactly the same, I think, if you look at them, right?
Yeah, it's not far off the difference.
I don't know who picked the West Wales jersey colour, I don't know.
Carmarthen Quins, I think, are the same as well, and so hopefully somebody from over there.
Yeah, they got similar colour.
Yeah. Anybody got any more questions for Kip?
No, that's all you're on it.
Anything done? No.
No, I'm good, yeah.
When's the poker starting back?
Every Thursday, poker.
Well, you've got a club now, you can start a poker league.
Yes. But
as a point,
they've all started playing poker now, so we've got some new victims, Kip.
Yeah. Don't tell them they're victims.
You're very much a poker shark, aren't you, to be fair, like a card shark?
No, I'm fair to everybody. I'll take anybody's money.
Those are the days. On a Tuesday, the club will be packed, won't it? Be darts and poker there. Hopefully we see those days again.
Well, the golf started off in the golf.
Yeah.
Rowan and Lydia, the golf, and the Lango Rock boys were staying there.
Yeah, it used to be about 15 players at the time, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's mad.
15 players. Brilliant.
Mad times, mad times. Are you looking forward to the penny opening up again, Kip?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'll be drinking alcohol, huh? I don't drink in the house, guys. I've given it up, basically.
I'm the same. I won't drink in the house.
I had a drink Christmas Day. I had a drink the first Wales match and my birthday. And only about 5 bottles, so I haven't missed it. And I definitely haven't missed the hangovers.
How are we going to put up with Sparky and Lobster sober, though? I don't think you can do that, like.
Just switch off for them, innit? It's easy. They're like interferers on the radio now. I don't hear them.
Right. Predictions for Saturday. Wales to beat Italy?
Yes. When's the team coming out?
Thursday.
Yeah, they'll beat them, definitely.
Yeah.
With a bonus point.
Well, I should say today is Thursday, because obviously this is when we go out live, isn't it? Yeah, so today.
I didn't read the team, sorry.
Yeah, it's good. Good team. It's a good team, definitely.
Do you think we'll win the Grand Slam?
Yes.
Yes.
You said it all along, haven't you, Ro?
Right from the start. £5 bet on.
I just still got this inkling that one referee somewhere is going to take it out on us and think, have their moment in the sun, have their red card, or give a try that isn't a try. You know what I mean?
This week? Is it France and England this week?
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting game, really.
Where do they play in Twickenham or?
Yeah, it's in Twickenham.
All depends. If Eddie sticks with the same team, I reckon France will beat them.
Yeah. I don't know why he's sticking with those Saracens boys. It doesn't make any sense. Obviously, he's named the team by now, so we would know, but...
Yeah, I forgot to read that as well. I don't like the English. I don't read the team news.
But anyway, Kipper, you should be... I wrote down... I needed to write 3 words to describe you earlier. I don't know where I put them. Right, I've got them here, right?
I thought you weren't allowed to swear.
No, I put on brave, inspirational, and loud. And I think that sums you up pretty much, I think. You know what I mean? Thank you so much for coming on. You know, you're a devoted, loving father and grandfather, and that's obvious for everybody to see. And you were a hero on the rugby field. I'll give you that. But you're an even bigger role model, I think, in our outfit. And I think the way the world is at the moment, we need as many role models as we can. So thank you so much for today, Lyn. Thank you for sharing everything.
Thank you very much.
It's been a pleasure.
No worries. So if anybody's ready to go to bed and want to go to sleep, put this on. It'll send you to sleep straight away.
Au revoir, everyone.
Cheers, Kip.
All the best.
Cheers, Kip.
Guys. Cheers. All the best.
Yeah.